talking secret shit you wouldn't even tell Jesus. My karma been tweaking so much I don't even believe it.
She be doing so much more now she asked for it. When I feel by myself, I fantastic for her. I just had to feel.
Greetings, I'm Xxxtentacion, and I'm very proud to announce Boss is back with another one.
Alright, yep, this is gonna be another propaganda video, but it's gonna be about JuiceWrld, and I really feel like I'm gonna just give it 1,000. Like, I think it's different with JuiceWrld low-key, because bro's like actually talented. I think most people agree, like bro's actually talented, and I think Rich Homie Quan was talented too, because I made a propaganda video about that too, and Ice Spice and Sexy Red as well, and like they could be talented in like their own ways and shit, but I just feel like there's probably like a larger number of people that agree that JuiceWrld was like really talented to a point where, you know, a nigga had interviews and like in his songs he'll say like he's doing all these drugs and all this and that, and people probably just think like, damn, like just let that nigga keep doing that shit because he making some fire ass music. And like low key, like that shit do go with music low key. Like sometimes people do just look at it like niggas low key gotta do that shit to freaking make some good ass music, like they start believing that shit. But that nigga died, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure like a lot of people would probably rather JuiceWrld still be here than him being dead. So it's like low key, like is it worth it? Like is it worth him making better music to do drugs versus still being here and not doing drugs? And then like his girlfriend obviously probably wasn't the healthiest person and shit, but I'm not really trying to get into that. But I just know she had something to do with like the drugs and shit. But like I think most people would probably rather him still be here than him being like a drug addict. So yeah, that being said, like that whole connotation of like just let these niggas be drug addicts is kind of like propaganda of like a bad message. But I think like overall, like even his marketing now, like when I go look at his Instagram, you can just see like it's more about the music and more about his talent and not really so much about like this like bad lifestyle of let's do drugs and let's show this and let's propaganda this. Like it's just like his talent and like music literally outweighs all of that shit. You can just tell off rip. And no offense to the other people, but I'm just saying like you know, it's kind of different there. But at the same time, I think if we compare it to the X thing, like X at the end of his career kind of had like a message that he's like showing of like let's evolve, because not changing is kind of like a bad thing and can lead to bad results, you know. So yeah, I think it's like, you know, like just like having that a part of hip-hop, more of let's change, let's evolve, should be more of a trend, but it's not really. And then once you see like niggas get arrested or they die or they overdose, then everybody's like, oh shit. But like how much of evolution was a part of their career and their marketing, you know what I'm saying, literally. And I think like that could have probably helped JuiceWrld, but I think overall like his talent definitely did outweigh a lot of shit. And I'm definitely finna have some album reviews up. We're gonna listen to his album. I think like the propaganda on his end, like when he had that one album where he was talking about drugs pretty heavy. I think it was Legends Never Die. I think it was Legends Never Die in like 2020. He was like talking about drugs pretty heavy, or was it Fighting Demons? I think it was Legends Never Die. And it's like his talent does outweigh, but I think like just on the album, like maybe people was like, damn, this shit's so good that like we don't even really want to like take the drug shit too seriously. But if people would have, then he probably would still be here, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think it's important to have a balance and to focus more on evolution and trying to incorporate talent with evolution, and not just being like everything is so cool, let's just be cool and keep doing drugs and not. And then also trying to make it seem like you need to do drugs to make music like JuiceWrld. And I think he was really talented, you know what I'm saying, but I don't think his talent really came from the drugs. And I just think he probably started believing that, or other people could believe he needed to do that. But overall, did he really need to, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's bad propaganda. That's my overall opinion. Like I think, you know, most artists, if they're on drugs or not, shouldn't really try to rely on it, and also should seek more evolution than just being like, yeah, we gotta rely on drugs or I can't get off drugs, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously, like Lil Peep and JuiceWrld, this can have a negative outcome, and niggas don't want to see that, and niggas don't want to keep seeing that trend continue of like really talented young artists dying and the label being able to take advantage of all their music and, you know, their direction of their career and all that shit, you know. Niggas ain't trying to keep seeing that type of shit. So I think more artists should focus on evolution and trying to incorporate their talent with more of a growth perspective, other than, oh yeah, we need to keep popping perks and keep needing to be off drugs and being drug addict, like promoting that image of, yeah, I get it, it's like relatable to like fans, relatable to people that's probably like in those situations. But like, you know, once people get older, they always talk about how like, you know, I'm glad I got off that stuff, or I'm glad I stopped doing that. So, you know, it's important to probably like labels to get behind people who labels to like factor in, you know, having the artists work on their evolution and not just be like, yeah, we'll just let him rock like this and then we see what happens and then it turns into Black Mirror, you know. But yeah, we'll listen to some albums. Definitely stay tuned for more videos. That is pretty much it. I'm out.
My favorite expression in English is the one that says, never bite the hand of the one that fingers you, something like that.